Hey guys, how's it going? And welcome to the ultimate beginner guide for tanks in squad. I'm going to teach you guys everything that you need to know to stay alive on the battlefield. We'll cover how to identify tanks, how to fire the main gun, show the different threats that you have to face on the battlefield, and share some essential tips and tricks to help you win. We got a lot of stuff to go over, so let's get to it. There is a ton of vehicles in squad, and if you're a newcomer to squad, it can be a bit challenging to figure out what is a tank and what isn't. A lot of people mix up their tanks with IFVs and APCs, but there's a few key features you want to look for. One is the main turret. How big is it? Usually tanks have pretty big turrets, while IFVs not so much. Also, check for the armor. Tanks have really thick armor at the front. Lastly, look at the gun. Tanks have massive guns ranging from 105mm to 125. The main weakness of a tank's armor is usually its sides, rear, and top and bottom. Also, tanks have very low visibility. Without the proper support, they can be vulnerable by infantry hiding behind cover, using anti-tank weapons or IEDs. There are two primary infantry anti-tank roles, the HAT kit and the LAT kit. HAT soldiers are equipped with high-powered rockets designed to take down heavy armored vehicles like tanks. LATs, on the other hand, are more tailored for lighter targets such as armored cars, APCs, and IFVs, with rockets that are effective but not as powerful. When it comes to threats, it's just not infantry weapons and tanks you'll need to be cautious of. Anti-tank guided missiles, or ATGMs, vary in their faction and capabilities. Some are designed to track better at moving targets with greater accuracy, while others use wired guidance, which disrupt by terrain and obstacles. Know how these missiles work can help you stay safe in battle. One of the ways of countering ATGMs is using your 40mm smoke grenade. This confuses the missile guidance, making it lose track and veer off course, which could save your vehicle from being hit. Another good tactic is to keep moving. Hitting a moving target is much more harder than hitting a stationary one, and you definitely don't want to be caught standing still. Well, yeah, I think you get my point. To enter a tank, hold F. You can also switch your position by using the F keys. There is 3 seats in every tank, sometimes 4, but it depends on the faction that you're playing. The first role is the driver, and it's the most important member of the tanker because they are the only one that can see the tank health. On either side of the speed dial, there are 2 circles that shows the condition of the ammo rack, turret, engine, and tracks. You can press E by starting up the engine and pressing spacebar to turn on the handbrake. As a gunner, your role is pretty simple: blow stuff up. You have access to different types of ammunition. Just press 1, 2, and 3 and so on to cycle through your options. The 2 types of ammo you mostly use is APFSDS and HEAT. AP is mostly for armored targets like tanks, IFVs, and APCs. HEAT, on the other hand, is great for dealing with infantry and lighter vehicles such as trucks. Every tank squad has a laser rangefinder and a range scale, but it can be different with different tanks and different sights. The laser rangefinder is always on. Point on something and it will instantly show you how far away the target is, but this only goes up to 1,500 meters. The third position of the tank is the commander, who operates a 50 cal machine gun, but not every tank gets this feature. The commander plays a key role by providing heavy firepower while keeping an eye on the surroundings of the tank. There is another type of tank called tank destroyers, but not very common. They're very fast and very weak. They don't have a lot of armor, but roughly the same cannons as main battle tanks. Most everything on the battlefield can destroy them, even IFV's autocannons. While they still pack a punch, they're much less dangerous than a regular tank. Pretty much every tank in squad has the same health. Doesn't matter if you're a Abrams or T-72. HAT kits and ATGMs typically inflict around 50 to 40% damage if they penetrate. While tank shells do about 25% damage, but lag kits only do 15%. Also be on the lookout for mines. They can be really hard to spot. On the surface, they look like red or black dinner plates. They take about 25% of your tank's health. You physically have to drive over the mine to activate it. These are placed by combat engineers, which they can place 10 mines on every single map. If you're low and driving back to base, you might want to be careful. You never know what can happen. If your tank gets hit by an RPG or a tank shell, you can repair them with your toolbox. Hold left click on the tank with your toolbox, and a little square will pop up and will show the health of your tank. You'll recognize the exact same symbols in the driver's position. Your toolbox will only repair your tracks, your engine, 25% of your turret. It won't repair your hull or your tank health or your ammo rack. To repair your tank, you'll have to go back to base or set up a fob. You have to place down what's called a repair station. To place down a repair station, you'll need a radio. You'll need a logistics vehicle and 2 other crewmates. You'll need 600 supplies and also more to repair your vehicle, and also ammo to replenish your tank. If you're not at main base, this gives a really good chance of the enemy finding you and killing you. So make sure when you place down your fob and your repair station, make sure it's in a safe spot. Also knowing your strengths and weakness of your tank can really help you win. A lot of Western tanks like the Abrams, Leopard 2, and the Challenger have very good reverse gears. But a lot of Russian tanks don't really have this feature. Their top reverse gear is probably 2 miles an hour.
Can't this thing go any faster?
Even some Western tanks like the Abrams can reach up to 60. So, if you are in an Abrams or a Leopard, use it to your advantage. But if you are in a T-72 or T-90, what the best thing is pop smoke with your 40mm smoke grenades, turn around, hold left click on your mouse, it'll activate your engine smoke, and hopefully it'll block the enemy from seeing you. Knowing where the ammo racks are located can turn the tide of the battle. Each tank has a unique spot where the ammo rack is stored. 2 direct hits to the ammo rack can cause a cook-off and destroying the tank completely. After 5 years of playing squad, I've learned a few key lessons. First, never push straight into a cap zone. I've seen a lot of new players do that, and it's probably the last place you want to be. If you decide to push, stick close to your friendly infantry for support, but don't entirely rely on them. I always try to operate a full manned MPT. With more eyes on the field, you're much more likely to spot threats and targets, improving your chances of survival. Tip number 3, one of the best positions for an ambush is the hull down position. Hull down position is where the tank hides its hull behind terrain, leaving the only turret exposed. This protects the tank from incoming rounds from other tanks and ATGMs. Tip number 4, always try to avoid urban areas. They're often a death trap. Maps like Fallujah mostly have a urban environment, but also have some flat terrain on the outskirts. Stick to those open areas, they offer much more tactical advantage. And number 5 is probably the most important one, have a mic. Squad relies heavy on teamwork, and if you can't talk, you can't win. Well, that is it guys. I hope you liked the guide. If I missed anything, or if you have any questions, feel free to let me know. I'll try to do my best to respond. Also, if you want to check out my other guide on Squad 44 tanks, you can find it at the top right corner of the screen. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.